thumbnail because it's stupid. I shouldn't even feel compelled to make a video about this, but I'm going to. What's up, guys? Today I will go over a topic that I promised in my last stream I had plans to discuss. And that is this little platform that has been influencing the world online and caused quite a stir. And of course, I am here to let you know what it is that I think about it because I feel like I have some things to say that will tie into the things that I have been saying throughout the years on this channel. And because this is live, my biggest fear, more than anything, is that I'll start coughing or sneezing or having hiccups. So if that happens, y'all pretend you ain't there. Anyways, so for starters, I became interested in this whole OnlyFans thing, and I will go ahead and indicate that I'm not even going to have a filter during this video. I know it's going to get demonetized, so I feel devastated that I'm going to miss out on the 5 cents I tend to make for every video I make because I'm a tiny ass creator. But anyway, this became intriguing for me back in January because it was trending on Twitter and it had something to do with how women were really having the worst time ever. Because remember, everything bad that ever happens in society always affects women the worst. And you guys know that I struggle with empathy, and I just wasn't feeling it for these people. So I will start off by telling you guys what it is that I learned about OnlyFans because I had an opinion before I knew what it was and after. So I wrote some notes, hopefully, so that I can present my thoughts in a more linear fashion. So, Garuda, don't talk about food, all right? Because your girl's gonna try to keep it together. So for starters, this website was established in 2016 and it comes off London. I personally did not hear of OnlyFans until probably mid to end of last year. So surprisingly, I did very well remaining like completely unaware of its existence. And maybe the whole pandemic thing helped to proliferate it. So let's just get that out of the way. Maybe some of you guys knew about it before, but I personally found out about it 2020. I know that much. But this thing has been around since 2016. And as you can expect, there seems to be a female to male ratio that is not very well balanced. To put it bluntly, there tends to be more female creators and there tend to be more male customers. And basically, this is a service in which you put out content and you can determine what it is that you want for people to be charged for to consume. But what made this little app or website stand out was the fact that you could upload pretty much anything. Now, just because you can upload anything doesn't mean that you should, but it almost sounded like this was the dark web of uploading videos. So the thing that stood out the most is that you can upload X-rated material. And of course, if you happen to be an influencer or a famous person, and you convince your subscribers, your audience, that you have one of these accounts, people's immediate expectation is going to be that you will be supplying non PG 13 material. And to join this website, from what I understand, whether you are a creator or a consumer, you actually have to be over 18. But we all know that we all tend to lie about what our age is. And I know that when I was in middle school, I used to be that one child saying that I was 12 when I was really 11, just to get some of my social media activated way back in the day, whenever we had the retro vintage stuff like Yahoo, and what else did we have, like our MySpaces and stuff. But I think I was already past, was it 13 that you needed to be to start a MySpace? I was definitely older than that by the time MySpace was like the bomb. So anyway, so keep that in mind, that there seems to be more female creators and more male consumers. It's not like absolutely 100% accurate. There are certain exceptions, but it'll be worth it to remember that fact. And of course, these celebrities, these musicians, these influencers, and even non influencers, they know and understand that the way for you to taste a little bit of success, especially financially, on this website is to offer explicit content. And from what I learned, the monthly subscription can be from $5 to $50. And that some people can even choose for their profile to charge nothing for like the basic content. And this morning, I woke up to the horrific news that Twitter was going to have super tweets, which is kind of like this thing, I guess, super chat, where if you guys wanted to, you can send people who you watch money. Well, Twitter has decided that they are going to do the same thing. They have decided that a creator can begin to charge people for access to 240 letters and perhaps a picture or a video. I don't know who would do that, but I think they are trying to threaten OnlyFans a little bit since it trends so much on their website. But don't quote me on that. I may be full of shit. I'm just trying to think competitively. And I also actually have a real job, so I would understand a little bit about these things. So bear that in mind for now. And in addition, at OnlyFans, you can have things that is like pay-per-view. I guess it would be for every single post. You can actually charge people images, videos, live streams. And there's also some direct messaging feature in which the actual customer, the actual member, can make a deal with you. And from what I understand, it is like $100. And I think after you have been on the platform for about 4 months or more, you can actually cap that out at $200. So if you guys ever wonder how it is that these people make money seemingly very fast and in a blink, it's because of little things like this. You would have to be really grinding away at chatting with people for them to like drop money on you, but oh well. Of course, this, as I mentioned a moment ago, this is for anyone over 18. Uh, Influencers and famous people is pretty much guaranteed that you will immediately do well as soon as you create your account and you announce it, because we live in a culture of celebrity worship. Everyone wants to know what famous people are up to for some reason, even though you don't benefit from any of the perks of staying on track of what these people are up to. But for some reason, you value that. So you do you, keep supporting these people if that's what makes you happy. But me personally, the way I supported artists that I was, I guess, fanatics of was, say, you guys know I like Evanescence. So I would buy their fucking CDs, and that was it. I never bought their merch. I never bought like, I don't know, they have like a website and you can be a member of that website. I don't know if they still do it like that since they're independent now. But back in the good old days, like this is 2008, 2009, if you visited their website and you wanted to have access to Amy's journal or something, you had to be an actual member. And I said, this disappoints me, but whatever. I guess you gotta make your money, right? But anyway, something that bothers me about a website like this is the false sense of achievement that it makes you feel, I guess. And the reason I say that is because on the little bit of research that I did preparing for this stream, I noticed that what women tend to say the most about what helps them feel accomplished while doing this is that it boosts my self confidence because I am a mother of 10 kids and I am in my 30s or late 20s or 40s or whatever the hell. And they say that this made them feel good, like the fact that there's a literal quote somewhere going like, I had no idea that people would actually pay for my naked body. And I'm like, I mean, what can I say? It's as old as time that women have a very easy time getting sex and in addition getting paid for things like that. So just because that is a fact doesn't mean that you should exploit it because those things have consequences. And for me personally, the reason I am very confident and able to say those things is because I fear those consequences more than anything else. And I don't want to one day get on here and very embarrassed stream to you guys and be like, you guys, I was a victim of my own decisions, and now I suffer from anxiety and depression and stalkers, and I made good money, but now I feel unfulfilled. I have more money than I know what to do with, but I still feel like my life is meaningless and somehow, all these psychological issues that people be having. I don't want to be that person, all right? And I will visit the comment section of one video that I dared to sort of gloss over. And oh, it is so triggering because it goes completely against my personality. And Ruda, I'm not ignoring your comments. I'm just trying to like keep my flow going. So I'll be right there. And of course, something that stood out to me was I understood one controversy from a little while back that I wasn't really understanding, and it involved someone called Bella Thorne. And from what I gathered, she signed up to this website. She must be some influencer. I don't know who she is, but she signed up. Basically, people expected nudity and they were mad because she ended up making like $1 million on the very day that she signed up, but her content was absolutely, completely, 100% PG-13. If that doesn't tell you that this society that we live in has issues, I don't know what will, but hang in there. And basically, the wave of people who had like their pitchforks at hand were the sex workers because they felt like their jobs were being I guess undermined. It's like, hey, this is our territory. This is our platform. You, as an already famous person, have no right to be on this platform that we are pretending to claim. You stay on your YouTube, on your website, on your music, on whatever the heck. And stay away from OnlyFans because OnlyFans is supposed to be the way by which sex workers escape the middleman of like the porn company that they work for and instead achieve independence. But are you really independent if you're paying 20% of your earnings to like the commission? Like, from what I gathered in my notes, you only keep 80% of your revenue, which is significant because any of you guys who like ever sent me money through Super Chat, I only see fucking half of it. YouTube keeps the other half. I think I only see 60% of that. So are you really independent if you're relying on a platform to hook you up? To me, independence means I have my website that I am 100% running, and you guys pay directly to me, and therefore 100% of whatever it is that you guys spend, I make that money. As opposed to like, I have to share my income with someone else because someone else gave me that tool to achieve my audience, but also the maintenance, the support for the app, the whatever it is that being a member of a platform does for you. So I don't know, like, what are these people being so triggered about? And in an effort to be someone as unbiased as possible, or I cannot say unbiased, let me say transparent, I do have a bias in which I find sex work to not be real work. And what I mean by real work is that I don't respect it to consider it a job. And I promise that I will expand on that a little later. But if you hear me sounding like I'm a hater of people who do that kind of work, it's because there are options out there, but people are actively choosing not to pursue those options because I guess it's harder, it's longer to like achieve financial freedom. You get paid a lot for being this kind of model or whatever, or you get to go on exotic vacations and whatever, bang sexy people or what you deem as sexy because you guys are so invested in like plastic surgery that you don't even look real anymore. So I'm sorry, but I don't value that stuff. And it's very hard for me to respect something that I don't value when I limit it to that perspective. So bear that in mind. I have to clarify that I do not think that sex work is real work. So therefore, I may sound like I don't respect it a whole lot. So if you guys wonder, yes, there you go. That is in my mind. Garuda goes, yes, all I need is feet and plump in leggings. And I have not forgotten about me filming my leggings addiction video. As soon as the weather gets good, I will put out my collection and tell you guys which ones are my absolute favorite. If you guys have been here for a long time, it should remind you of this one video that I made like 2 years ago in which I tried to put together like a slideshow of how I window shop for leggings. So this time, the only difference will be that I will actually show you what I actually wear. And of course, it's not going to be me modeling or posing or anything. I'm going to like wear it, show you guys what it is from a distance, that it looks like, what brand it is, and why I like it. And if I remember, the material content. Nobody has asked for that. Nobody cares for that. But the whole point of this channel of mine is for me to literally speak my mind. And leggings is the one thing in my life that is my kryptonite, that I spend much more money than I should. Just like I spend money on food, you guys have no idea how much damage I do on leggings. But I am very excited to bring that video. Keep your expectations low because if you think that you're going to get like a really good glimpse of what I look like beyond what you guys see on the screen, you will be let down. So anyway, I thought I would put that out there. And okay, before I move on to the next chapter, I will catch up with the comments. I said feet, not food. Anyways, you know what I mean. You have a tendency of talking about food every time I stream. Hey, Jordan. Nah, if it is not rated R and it is PG, I won't join. I could rather follow you on TikTok. You can make cat vids, pet videos are the most followed on TikTok. Man, TikTok, I find it dumb as hell. It makes me think of Vine back in the good old days when that shit existed. What was Vine? Like 6 seconds? But the reason I hate things like that is because we already have so much social media trash to manage. Just like I was mentioning in my last stream, everything everywhere wants you to subscribe. Do you really need more social networks like Facebook? You can message, you can comment, you can post photos, you can like post bulletins almost. That's what it looks like on your news feed. You can send videos, you can even send fucking money through Facebook. What else do you need? We have Twitter, which is, I learned about Twitter as it is a form of micro blogging. Really short. 140 characters back in the good old days. Now it's like 200 and how many characters? 240. What happened to those days? More and more these apps are like detaching from their core, what made us go to those apps in the first place. And if you guys are like me, I am fed up with social media. And it's because you're trying so much to compete with others, and I know that competition is important for you to stay relevant and like hold on to your members, but if people mean to leave your website, let them fucking leave. If you govern social media for like 5 years, make sure that in 5 years you led responsibly. And that way, when your empire falls, it doesn't hurt as bad. But you really like to somehow try to be on top of everything. And that's what I hate. It's like Amazon. You already have achieved so much success. Why are you trying to be so extra? Just stick to the basics. But you now you're trying to offer video, you're trying to offer music. No, all I want to do is go to your little ass website, look for shoes, perhaps get them in 3 to 5 days, and that's it. But you keep trying to be like cable companies. Do you guys remember when you used to have like packages that offered that landline, internet, and cable? Stop doing that. If I'm going to your company because I want internet, give me internet. Don't offer me phone plans. Don't offer me television. Internet. Leave it at that. But anyway, I think I get mad because I like to only consume what is necessary. And I am very good about not consuming that shit that I just see is really like money hungry. Everyone out there is all about making a goddamn dollar. And you wonder why you're so lonely, miserable, and depressed, and you can't trust anybody. It's because someone out there is trying to gain something from you. What happened to the days of just like, I don't know, being children who hang out in the courtyard? Now we got all these kids with expectations like, I gotta have the latest iPhone, and these little snot eaters do not understand what it takes to own and maintain active one of these pieces of shit, you know? So I just remember how I was growing up and how important it was for me to see and digest the world in the manner that I did growing up. And I don't have the issues that people talk about. I've been having the toughest time tolerating and getting along with people who are like anxious and depressed because of how goddamn sensitive they are. Everything offends them. Everything upsets them. Everything hurts their feelings. Everything triggers them. Everything is too intimidating, too much hard work, too painful, too emotionally draining, too exhausting. How the hell did people invade lands centuries ago? Like, as terrible as it was, do you think that we would have been able to found all these nations if people just succumbed to whatever little inconveniences it is that they experienced at the time? These people, they knew what they wanted, they knew what they were doing, and they just went out there and did it, even if they had no idea what would happen. I want to see more of that. People with feeling, desire, purpose, energy, passion. All I see today is goddamn zombies. You people are drugged. You people are in love with your little ass medication. Your behavior is different. Your priorities are different. You can't handle being a parent. You can't handle traffic. You can't handle anything. You're mad about your schedule. You're mad about anything. Seriously. I feel like I'm the only normal person because like I never relate to what people say, but anyway, that I should reserve it for a different video. But yeah, that stuff has been like cooking inside of me, and I'm thinking, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? This is not when I was a teen looking into my future. This is not what I thought I would be experiencing at all. I thought it would be competitive and I would have to like step up my game and shit. No! People are having a hard time keeping their minds together. You know? And that's what concerns me the most. I'm not trying to like present myself like I'm superior. I need help and improvement on a lot of things, but like damn, some things are just unforgivable. So, anyways, I thought I would rant about that, but I will get back to the rest of this as soon as I can. Someone needs a decongestant. I always have problems, man. Like, that is old. I haven't been healthy since 2017. So, yeah. Bella is fine in my opinion, but she showed no news, boring as fuck. I did not get catfish by her. Go on TikTok and search pet videos. Just make Dusty your avatar if you choose to join. People will like it in my opinion. Oh, Dusty is so full of personality. I have no doubt that people would love him. But like, seriously, I can barely handle YouTube. I don't have time for TikTok. I don't have time for Instagram. I only sort of make time for Twitter, and it's because I use it while I'm on the go. And for Facebook, I absolutely don't have time. I only upload pictures in there that I need to get rid from my camera roll just to make space on my phone. And I never even post status updates. I couldn't even tell you what was my last status update. And when I upload photos, people don't know that I'm online because I upload that to invisible albums. So that is how little I care about Facebook. And on top of that, the people on my fucking Facebook, they post so much trash, man. I just don't have time for that. If what I'm reading is not for my edification, I don't have time for it. And Twitter, I like to go there for entertainment. Like last night, my boyfriend and I stopped at McDonald's just for their large fries, and I think it was because last week we went to Burger King for their fries, and I said, I can't believe you're going to Burger King. And it was because our original plan was to go somewhere else for their better fries, but it turns out that they didn't have any fries. So I said to him, you're seriously stopping at Burger King for fries over McDonald's? Why? But anyway, he said, I thought about it. I thought about going to McDonald's, but Burger King was right here, even though there's a McDonald's like diagonal from where we were. But anyway, so I guess that was still like cooking in his brain, and he decided to go for it last night. But I told him when we get home, we're going to look up limp fries from McDonald's because it is so funny to see what people tweet about like up there. And another thing that I personally like to look up, and this is controversial for any of you who know about wrestling, but if you key in Chris Benoit neck, that can be another entertaining trend. And I don't like to talk about people for how they look like physically, right? But some people just say crazy shit that I find funny. So why not indulge in it? And finally, another thing that I like to look up, and it's because of the Equalizer. And this is so mean, but but as mean as it is, I laugh because of the things that people um focus on. You know, like you have a talented actress, but you're deciding to pay attention to these little things. Anyway, the Equalizer, Queen Latifah. People be tweeting about how she's out of breath in the scenes that she shoots. And I'm thinking that is so mean, but I look at it as it's funny because people are talking about this bullshit, but I think it's cool because I don't watch The Equalizer. I have seen the Denzel Washington movies, both of them, but I like that people tweet that because I look at it as, hey, if this lady is acting out a scene where there's an explosion and I imagine she's running, yes, in real life, you will be out of breath. So to me, that is some good movie directing right there. But you're trying to be a bully because A, this is a lady, and B, you're trying to say that she's fat. How old is Queen Latifah? Like, she up there in age, I think. So, you know, she's not exactly like someone in her early 20s or mid 20s or like a teen or something. So, like, you know, you people are mean, but at the same time, you have an entertaining way of presenting that meanness, and that's what I find entertaining. That's what I find amusing and funny. And I have been on the receiving end of hate on this channel. Like, I get told shit about my accent, my hair, the way I dress, the way I sound, my congestion, how I'm sick all the time, how monotone, how boring I am, how sexist I am, whatever the fuck it is that you guys say. I don't care if that's what you think. Go ahead and say it, but I'm not going to sit there and be like, hey guys, I gotta take a break from social media because I can't take this pressure. No, I know that there's losers out there. And I know that there's kind people out there. I'm not gonna penalize the nice, kind, sweet, funny, lovely people that I do know over these fucking assholes. That's what I'm saying. You gotta build tolerance. But if you say, I gotta run away, I gotta sign out, I gotta leave, I think that sure, if you need a break, take it. Because I know that sometimes I need to take fucking vacations from my job. But build your character. The only way you'll build your character is by exposing yourself to those things and training yourself to be okay with that. People will be nice, people will be mean, people will be kind, people will be rude. And guess what? You can't control it. Even if you present yourself as the nicest, sweetest, purest, sincerest, like best intended person ever, one motherfucker out there is not going to get it. And you have to be all right with that. You have to be able to move on from that. Teenage me did not know that. But at least I learned it. Why? Because I stuck to it. I stayed right there. And when I needed coaching, I talked about it. I said, hey, I do this thing online, and these are some of the messages I'm getting, and it hurts because that's not who I am, but I don't feel compelled to prove to these people otherwise. Like, I'll never forget this one idiot who was telling me that like I'm like a typical woman who, as soon as I get bored or feel like I'm unloved or something in my relationship, that I'm going to get divorced or something if I'm married, and try to move on to the next person. And I'm like, bitch, you don't know how much I have gone through, and you don't know what I value. And just because you have like relationship trauma doesn't mean that I have to feel emotionally manipulated by you. I don't fucking know you, and even if I did, I would know to give you my back. You know? So that's what I'm saying. Unless you're truly mentally well armored, there's some things that you just should refrain from. And some things that you just need to learn to be okay with. Like Jenna, when she left back in the summer, I'm like, seriously? You're going to leave the platform because you have offended some people? Sweetie, the whole world was born offended. So, like, her case is different. I sort of get it, but I was disappointed that she was saying that she couldn't exist on this platform because she offended someone. We all have done something that offended someone, even if you didn't mean it. But for me personally, my job is what shaped me into being the person I am today. My job and the people I have met there. Because I used to consider quitting very often because I hated some of the people that I worked for and worked with. But then I said, you know what? If I quit this job, I'm going to go to another job in which the dynamic is going to be the fucking same. The only different thing is going to be the actors involved in it. It's going to be the same play, the same movie, just different people. Why do I feel like I gotta sacrifice my experience, my earnings, my position, my veteran status just because this person, every time I see that we have a shift together, I know I'm gonna have a bad day? I said, no, eventually I'm going to learn to show up to my shifts, and this person, it's like she's not going to exist, or he's not going to even make sound. Like my ears won't be able to catch whatever they say or anything like that. And guess what? Here I am. I am happier now than I was years ago. But I only got there because I did not run away from that challenge. But I find that people these days, especially young people getting into the workforce, it's like you have to be like coddled and babysat, and like if we look at you the wrong way, if we talk to you the wrong way, if we address you the wrong way, like by the wrong title, that is the end of the world for you. And I wonder, if we had a domestic war, like if we were invaded, what the fuck will we do? We're not prepared. And that's what worries me. That's what concerns me. Can we stomach the actual awful, ugly things that do happen out there in life? And I feel like some stuff that we should be sensitive about, we have become desensitized to. And some things that we should, hey, like give no energy to, that's what we're focusing on. And that disappoints me, hurts me, triggers me, and saddens me. But anyway, hopefully it gets better from here. Where are we at? Social media is mind control, telling people how to live their lives. Yes, I am absolutely appalled by how easy it is for people to be impressionable. And I will reference that when I get back to discussing OnlyFans. But I just cannot believe that I live in an age in which people's values are actually something that they have adopted based on other people's ideas. Do you guys remember the so-called Fire Festival like 5 years ago or something? Something that I think Kendall Jenner was starting or something. I don't remember. I just know that people had expectations of what this thing was going to be, but then when they actually made it to the place under the manipulation of this celebrity, it turns out that it was a complete shit show. And I'm thinking, why? Why did you allow for this to happen to you? Am I a genius or is everybody just stupid? Just like someone said to me one time. But that's the part of me where I struggle with having empathy because I see right through the facade. Maybe that's my superpower, but I don't think it's a superpower. This is something people were able to do. Deductionism or whatever it is. You were able to tell that someone was up to no good by just looking at them, listening to them, being in their presence. That negative energy, it's like a radio wave. Like the only way you know what's happening at a frequency is if you tune in your device to it. Human beings are no different. Like, you know how someone is feeling, what someone is thinking. If you focus on tuning in to that, that shit is up in the air. But when you talk to people about this, they don't believe you because they haven't taken the time to cultivate this power that humans have. But they don't want to believe it because their brains are rotting with other bullshit. And that's why I'm like, okay, let me focus on just me. I'm the one who will move on to live the better life. And I don't like to look at it that way. I don't like to say it that way because I really do not think that, like, I'm that special. But at least I can say that I am perfectly peaceful, perfectly happy. I enjoy every single one of my days, even if I feel absolutely terrible physically. And even if work breaks me sometimes, I'm able to let that shit go as soon as I'm out the door. And I continue to have a great day. And even when I come home and I am met with some other challenges, I'm like, hey, this is part of the process. Once I overcome this, I will move on to the future being a better version of who I was. Because at a time when it was unlikely that I was like going to do well and manage this so well, I fucking did. And I did not lose an arm, a leg, an eye, an ear, nothing. As long as I'm all right, functioning, breathing, waking up, I am sure that life will sort itself out, even if it takes 40 years. Who cares? Just enjoy the ride. To conclude, the best way I can think of to illustrate this is, you ever hear people talking about, I'm going on a vacation? I find that most people wait, if they're going to travel, to get to the destination, and that's when they say that their vacation is starting. No, to me, the vacation starts the moment you begin packing your suitcase. The moment that you begin, like, planning and sorting things out. To me, that's when the vacation starts. How about if you enjoy the process of getting there? You missed your flight? Hey, enjoy whatever it is that you end up doing instead until you can get back on track. Your car broke down? Shit, enjoy the replacement that you may have temporarily or something. But no, like, people let their worlds be ruined. Maybe it's because I don't do that type of thing. Maybe I don't understand what it's like to be stranded at an airport, even though one time I had to do like a 5 hour delay over an outage at Delta, and I ended up getting home like at 4 a.m. and I actually had to work the next day. And this was actually a business related trip. And I said to my manager, hey, I encountered this problem. I could show up to work under these conditions, but I would rather not. And he completely understood and he was like, hey, not even I would want to do it. So, yeah, let's not do that. Let's not put you through that. It's a safety issue as well. So, there, I enjoyed it. I'm like, wow, I get to have an extra 5 hours away from home. I never get to leave, I never get to go out. But thanks to this thing, I was able to bond with the people I was traveling with and talk about matters that actually affected me and helped me grow. What's so difficult about being grateful for the moment? you know? But I don't know. I cannot expect for people to see things the way I see it. But if you're not going to see things the way I see it, at least don't fucking complain. Because the difference between the way I convey things and the way people perceive it on their part is that they bitch and complain and moan and they turn into Karens. And I'm just cool, okay, chill, tolerant. I guess that's what they call stoic. I don't know. But I am genuinely okay with those things happening. The only time I'm a Karen is if I'm, say, at the gym taking a shower and the fucking hot water goes out, which it's happened 2 times. And I'm like, hey, I cannot tolerate cold water when it's 20 degrees outside. And they're like, oh yeah, we forgot to push the button for the heater. Boom, problem solved. But seriously, people, just, it'll be okay. All right? Like, after every single night ever, there's been another sunrise. Develop your spiritual side, do something. But damn, stop complaining. That's all I hear, people complaining. Let's see. Social media in theory was a good idea. In practice, it's a bloody curse upon humanity. To me, I always looked at social media as the tool that would keep me connected with people until the end of times, but it wouldn't be something that would own so much of my time and space. What I mean by that is, I'll never forget my teacher who did he did some kind of a speech for my graduation from high school, and he said, take a look around at the people who are next to you. Some of these people you'll never see again. Some of these people you'll never hear from again. Some of these people you will never physically share the same space with again. Some of these people may not be around in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years. But also, try to not let your life waste away on your little devices. He was talking about our phones, of course, because by the time that I was finishing school, that's when the whole being addicted to technology, texting like mad, and phones having internet was like a thing. Um, and it's fucking true because I see how much time goes spent on like entertainment, or how much time I spend on my phone because of my like small businesses and whatever, and say paying bills, reading up on things, finding out information about so on and so forth, and then you see something, these stupid algorithms are like, oh, so I see that you're reading about how to invest, here's a book on the stock market or something, or here's a suggestion on what has caused economies to crash in the past. And, things like that. It keeps you connected, and these things are designed to be that way. Apps, notifications, cell phones, they're all designed to keep you connected, to keep you hooked, keep you addicted. It's no different from fucking sugar. Like, you crave those things because your brain is just not wired to handle it. So your brain is not wired to handle having so much information available on demand. And if you think about it, if you have found yourself having a difficult time with your patience or like tolerance for delays with things, it's probably because of your fucking phone. Like, I think the worst thing in life for me when I'm using my phone is when that stupid circle loading now is just going and going and going. I don't know what upsets me the most. The fact that what I have to do, that information I'm looking up, takes me much less time than waiting for this fucking page to load, or the fact that I'm paying so much per month on my fucking cell phone bill for it to not work like it's supposed to. So this has brought out a monster side of me that I didn't know I had. And it's so artificial. And that's what I hate about it. I'm aware of it, but sometimes during the moment, I don't remember. And it's usually after the fact that I gotta tell myself, oh, I failed at it again. I lost my shit as opposed to going to the kitchen and getting water and coming back and seeing if it's ready. That would have been much more healthy than just cursing upon this thing, you know? So I feel like social media, when it was like Neolithic, it was nice, it was manageable, but now that generations are actually being raised with it, and we see how this actually changes people, and even older people are like succumbing to it, I think that's where the problem lies. Because for me personally, in my personal life, like say at work or shit, even when I hang out with my family, I have to compete against their cell phones so fucking much. I don't know if you guys got around to seeing this video that I made, or did I even upload it? I can't remember, about notifications on phones and how upset they make me. It's because the very people who say I'm not addicted to my phone, the moment their stupid Facebook little bubble sound or whatever goes off, they go over and check. And I'm like, are you waiting on someone? Are you expecting something from someone? Why do I have to like beg you for attention? Why is it that when we're hanging out or together or something, the first hour of our time is invested in you like scrolling and scrolling? And I know it's social media because I know what Facebook looks like, I know what Twitter looks like, I know what emails look like. I'm not prying on your device, but if it's so close to you, it's very easy to notice. So I'm like, okay, if I'm in the flesh and I'm not going to be important to you, just get the fuck out of here, okay? Why are you inviting me to go out and have food or have a drink or something, and you're not there about our time together? It's, you know, you're still married to your goddamn device. I can turn it off, but but you can't. So, you know, if you got kids at home, go home to them. You know, stay with them, but don't waste my time. Because if we go out, I expect to bond. But if I'm going to have to compete with your phone, it's not going to be quality bonding, and I got better things to do. So, so yeah, social media, it was a good idea, but people just don't know how to handle it. That's it. Social media is the easiest way to be a sheeple with no personality or originality. Yeah, that too. Most people's conversations these days, as soon as I get to work, is, did you hear about the girl who put Gorilla Glue in her hair? Did you see that video where so and so was doing insert stupid thing? Did you see what so and so posted on Facebook about? Fuck! No! I didn't see that. Because I don't live on Facebook. I live at home. Uh, It makes me so mad, guys. So sometimes, if you guys don't see me much on YouTube, it's probably because I am trying to focus on the things that enrich me a little more. And so far, I have failed at going back to my art. I don't know what it is, but the last time I drew something was 2017. And I just cannot get back into it. Like I try to look at something and I'm like, yeah, I know what my next art project is gonna be. But as soon as I grab my drawing utensil, I just cannot fucking do it. I have like 3 sketchbooks and they're all still new. But yeah, man, I just remember a time when people would actually ask me about me. Like, hey, how's your mom? Hey, how's your cat? Hey, how did your, back in the day before I had my car and stuff, hey, how did your driving courses go? You knew me. You knew who I was. You knew what I was working on. You knew what I was going to school for. But now it's like, did you see this dumb thing online? Did you see this thing trending? No, no, I didn't. And that's why, if you guys remember, I always say this, but it's true. If you ask me if I have seen something, more than likely I have not. And this is why, man, my brain is not good for those things. Because those are things that are so short lived and so trivial. I like to enrich myself with experiences that actually fulfill me. And that what happens online is something that doesn't stick to me, doesn't stick with me very well. Now, I find that when I'm here on the channel streaming, because I liked to journal, it's very easy for me to like convey these things to you guys. And you tend to be a really nice crew. It's no more than 5 people usually when I'm streaming. There's quality in what we do here. But if I were a bigger channel, which at some point I was scared that eventually I may have like 200 people on the stream, or like you ever go to a big YouTuber site and their comments are like constantly like cascading. I said, I'm so scared that's going to happen to me. And then the good quality that I'm experiencing now is going to get lost. So whenever people try to say something like, you should do this so you can grow your channel, you need to try more of this type of content so that your subscriber count can go up. I'm like, do y'all not understand that I don't do this for the subscribers or for the money? Like, if I wanted to do this for money, I know of better sites to go to try that. And the literal title of this video is one idea. But yeah, no, this is not what I actually want for me. It looks cool, it sounds cool, but when you think about what it actually means to be like a manager of this type of thing, I don't want for, say, my channel to get out of control to the point that I need to hire like a team or something to be there with me. Or say, if I'm going to continue to be alone in my channel, I just don't feel like keeping track of those things. Like, oh, I got this sponsorship and I got this and I got that. The more people who get involved in your life, especially companies, the less freedom that you have. This is a hobby for me, and I would like for it to continue to be a hobby. Do I know there's potential in me turning this into my full time gig? Yes, I know that, but I feel like I would get instantly tired of it. And that independence that I have with it is what makes me happy. But at least I am sincere enough to be able to admit that this would not be compatible with my personality, as opposed to the rest of other people, like all these creators who like a year later come out with their suffering from anxiety videos because they can't handle it. And I'm like, did you not think about this? Why? I have thought about this. And I feel like because I make decisions with a plan, that's why I find that the pace by which I'm conducting my life is like perfectly suitable for me. There are times in which I wish I had a little extra more money in my bank account, but when I think about why I want that, I'm like, no, I'm not deserving of that yet. And it's possible that financially I may never know what success and stability is. But at least I'm not blinded by that. There's people who all they can think about is their hustling, and once they get to like their success, they find no meaning in it. And I'm thinking, oh, congratulations, you just saw life pass you by. And just like I explained about when you go on vacation, your vacation starts the moment you start packing. You thought that your good time in life was going to start once you achieved the bullshit that you're striving for, but you missed out on the rest of the process. I don't want to be that person. So you don't have to look at it the way that I look at it, but I think that's important. And if you guys ever wonder why I'm so confident about why I say I literally kicked my depression's ass, maybe that's part of it. Because I used to be that person. I used to be that person who's like, yeah, I gotta be working extra at work. I gotta try to move up the ladder as quickly as possible. Like, hopefully by age 22 or something, I'll be here and there. And I'm like, no. I was literally asking for the devil to come through that door. And I said, no, no. I gotta be careful what I wish for. Where am I at? True, God made social media, just most people cannot handle it. I refuse to use Twitter or Facebook. Am I normal, Sam? You know what? You are like the little bit of normal that's left in this society. I think that not having social media may be a little bizarre, but I think if in its place you're doing something that's more fulfilling, like, say, working on a hobby, learning a musical instrument, learning art. I always think that the arts are a great way to like spend your free time. Or if instead you're actually talking to people who you know locally, I think that's good. But sometimes I find that we're more intrigued by what strangers are saying than us strengthening the relationships that we have. It's almost like the best way I can describe this is my objection to online relationships. I'm thinking, if I'm not good enough to find myself a man who I actually know in person, if I'm too shy and scared to talk to the men that I know in person, then I deserve to be fucking single and miserable. But people like to rely on online acquaintances too much. And I don't want to devalue them, but I'm just saying that the experience that they provide is limited. It is important for you to bond with people who are at your local level, because those are the ones who can actually be there and provide more wholesome support. Like, say, I cannot expect for a friend from Washington State to be able to do much for me when I live in the East Coast and I'm getting ready for a cataclysm, something like that. And if I'm not able to bond with my neighbor to be like, hey, in the event that this fucking tree destroys my property, could I count on sheltering at your place for like a day? You have to establish that bond, but I find that we don't really trust each other like our grandparents trusted their neighbors, and that worries me. So I don't want to have social media replace my interpersonal skills, literal personal skills, you know? And one of the issues I had when I was in high school with all this technology, like advancing and all that, was that I was opting for not talking to people. I was more, I was like deepening my antisocial tendencies. And because I was a better writer than speaker anyway, it's like I was doomed. So if you're not having social media, at least make sure that you're still bonding with the humans who are at your vicinity, because that shit will be important. And it's not about taking advantage of people, what it is that they can do for you. It's about the importance of being a community. And the more distant we get with that, like most of the people I know come from another state, there's really not that many local people. I'm thinking nobody can tell me about the history of my own hometown. Like, who are we? Who were we? And who are we going to be? There's like a high turnover of citizens. And sure, you all are my compatriots, but it's not the same. Like, where did our grandparents used to go to like wash their clothes, before we had running water? Those little things sound petty, but every once in a while technology just fails on us, and we have to be able to withstand the elements and continue our lives, even if it means downgrading. But we're depending so much on technology that even our ability to speak to one another is being affected. That scares me. Okay? So yeah, social media is not completely bad. You just have to be smart about how you use it and understand that not everything that you see there is true. And the way some people present themselves is manipulative. If someone is trying to sell you something, I tend to look at them a little less favorably. I'm thinking, sure, this person has bills to pay, but what happened to the traditional way of winning your bread? But anyway, I'm just old school like that. I'm not the best person to go to for that type of thing. I am perma banned on Twitter for calling Kevin Hart a, I guess, fat whale, for kissing The Rock. My quality of life improved 2 days after I realized how lame Twitter was. See, I like Twitter because of how concise it is, and also I need to show you guys about this one lady I triggered the other day. It was over female shit. Basically, she was saying, why is Chris Pratt not canceled yet or fired from Guardians of the Galaxy / Marvel yet? And people were like, because he hasn't done anything wrong. And basically, he started earning his hate when he, I guess, suggested that he is a Republican, and allegedly he was dating someone who was like 17 when he was 22 or 23. And all I did, guys, was simply ask the question of, hey, sure, Chris Pratt is wrong for willingly dating a minor, right? But why is the girl okay with allowing for that to happen as well? And then the bitch got offended. She blocked me. But while I was blocked, she replied to me. But someone who was also participating on that thread replied, and I was able to see that she had said something, but I couldn't see her tweet. So I requested for that guy to show me what it is that she was saying. And basically, she said, you do know that men groom teenage girls, right? And I'm thinking, why are teenage girls so easy to manipulate and groom and like, kidnap like that? Just stop being weak. Stop being so innocent. Take that mess, take that responsibility into your own hands. I was a teen. None of that shit happened to me. I'm not saying that I was immune. I'm not saying that guaranteed I wasn't going to have a bad experience, but I definitely took steps to ensure my safety. What did you do? If you like to get in a relationship with someone because, say, he's a little older and therefore he probably has money and he's offering you a way out of your parents' house, that is your value. If that's what you are going for and deciding for and it has negative consequences, it is your fucking fault and yours only. You have to make yourself responsible. Now, if you decide to be a nice, decent young lady and you decide to fill out job applications and perhaps focus on your education or talk to your parents and make a plan and work hard to get somewhere, but work hard in the right way, then maybe you will live a more fulfilling, meaningful life. But if you live the life of, I have been spoiled and I want to continue to live a spoiled life, you will experience spoiled people shit. That's just the way it is. But you're asking me to have empathy for the people who make bad decisions. Where were your parents at? Where was your mom at? Did she not talk to you about those things? Because my mom sure fucking did. Maybe that's why I'm good at making decisions that I don't regret. So, anyway, if I remember, I will create a video about that entire conversation because it's worth to see, but at the same time, it's triggering. But it just, I hate this whole what is it? Let's call it the herd community of how the woman can do no wrong. She's always the victim mentality. And if bad things continue to happen to us, it's because we keep living under that what is it? We keep living under that blanket, and it's not real. It's in your head. But anyways, so I will attempt to get back to the OnlyFans discussion. I believe that I stopped at the whole Bella Thorne stuff. So probably what makes people make more money and also makes your customers stay when you're on OnlyFans is when you chat to them directly. And I can see how this is true because here on YouTube, a lot of people go out of their way to leave me a comment multiple times, and they may go like, oh, I've been waiting on a reply from Zam for the longest time and she doesn't reply to me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I think it's strange that you expect for me to reply to thousands of people. And this was particularly bad for my World Without Men video because that's where I was getting comment after comment after comment after comment, and I said I'm going to be that person who leaves no soul unattended. But then I said, realistically, I'm one individual against all of these thousands of people, and unfortunately, not everybody is contributing something substantial for me to expand on it. I like to acknowledge people, and the most I was doing at some point was like, hey, thanks for your comment. I wasn't seeing it that way, da 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 da. I was being honest. But I also felt like people really like to feel special and have personalized experiences. And I think that is a very unrealistic and unfair expectation to deposit on a creator, a content creator. And for me, I never thought that I would even get more than 10 comments in a video ever in my life. But I also remember a time when I would be an audience member and I would leave a comment, a very good and compelling comment with like a really nice question open for feedback. But then I thought about the fact that this channel was a busy channel. More than likely, my comment was going to get lost in the wave of comments that this channel receives. And occasionally I would be surprised, and like months later, I would get a reply. But more often than not, my questions went unanswered. And I remember at first feeling a little bit let down, but then I also thought of it as I just gotta move on. And the good thing was that there's people who lurk the comment section, and I would end up getting replies from other people that were equally beneficial. So even though you were not getting a reply from your superstar, at least you had the opportunity to meet a different person. And sometimes I would learn more from the comment section of other people's videos than what I actually learned on the video. Because you gotta remember that the person creating the content has a limited capacity themselves. I would hope that you guys go out there and watch other people, participate in other people's streams and not just mine. As grateful as I am that you choose to hang out with me, I would hope that you pursue other people, because I'm sure that there's much more that other people can offer you than I can. And it would be very selfish of me for me to say, no, you guys have to stay here because I'm the only one who can engage you, or something like that. Whatever your reasons for coming here, cool. I love to have you. It's awesome. But I would hope that you don't stick to your guns. And the reason I say that is because I never thought ever in my life that I would be interested in politics until I met my boyfriend, and I was more active for like the 2008 elections, 2012, 2016. I said, hey, unfortunately, the shit that happens during these things can affect me. So I might as well be an informed citizen. That's why in civics class they said it's important for you to be an informed citizen. It made no sense at the time, but now it does. So really, when it comes to that type of thing, I always think don't stick to your guns. Always be willing to try different things. Let's see. Garuda had left momentarily, but he had returned. I feel the same way. A lot of people are boring zombies. Oh, thanks. Zam. Phone battery is about to die. I guess catch the rest later. That is a shame. That's why you must always carry the plug with you. There's no way that this phone would be lasting without being plugged either. So I've been charging this whole time. I'm probably at 100% now, but I would rather not mess with it. Let's see. Right. So when you chat directly with people on OnlyFans, from what I understand, the customer can request a more personalized experience. And by doing that, you make this person feel special. And the bad thing about this is that I can very easily see how, if you invest too much time directly messaging someone, especially at a website like this, it may give the customer a false sense that you're bonding with them, and they may start looking at you like you're their online girlfriend or something. And me personally, I have had that experience with like 5 people in my time here on YouTube. Um, there was this one guy who was like talking about getting married with me, and I'm like, no, go away, you're a freak, goodbye. And there was another person who was saying something like, oh, you're really attractive, you're really beautiful, da 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 da. I'm pretty sure that you are an amazing girlfriend or something, and you look like you know how to treat guys, yada yada. I'm pretty sure I would be very happy with you, and I'm sure that you could be happy with me. I'm a very easy guy to get along with, something like that. I will spoil you and make you the center of my universe, which, oh, to me, that's one of the most terrifying words a man can say. And all that stuff. And I'm like, uh, did you miss the part where I have a boyfriend and I'm not looking and I'm not here to date? I will never ever date someone I meet online. Like, if I don't know you in person, if I don't have access to you in person, I just can't do it. What's the point of being alone? I don't want the relationship with my phone. I already just ranted about how much I hate social media, and you're asking me to rely on one of the things that I hate to feel like I have something real going on in my life with a man. No, no. I already went through the bullshit of not having a man in my life. That was my fucking father. He was never there for me. I would rather have known that my father was not like alive, because it sucks to know that your father's alive, but he doesn't give a crap about you. But like, I have to pretend that I have to be okay that my dad is around, but he's not there for me. How good is he? He's done no good for me. So I don't want for a relationship to trigger that in me. I would be resentful about that. Like, oh, you're my boyfriend, you're not there with me or for me. I have to respect you, but from a distance, I have to somehow remain proper and pretend that I'm okay until we can sort our lives to maybe be together, and God knows what you're doing behind my back. No, if I can't see you, if I can't hang out with you, if I can't make any real plans with you, I can't do it. I'm not interested. I don't have to do it. I shouldn't do it based on my personality. It's just too, like, superficial for me. Not happening. Don't try. Um, and then I had another crazy guy. Oh my God, that this crazy guy, he wasn't even in the United States, all right? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I know that the United States is like the shithole country of developed countries, but like, you're telling me that I'm the one who will end up moving out. And I'm like, excuse me, but I'm not going somewhere I am not a citizen from. Because let's say that I do get involved in a relationship with this stranger, and I have to escape because I don't know, he's abusive, he's terrible, just something. I don't have any money. I have to rely on his resources. I don't have citizenship. I like, no, this is kidnap. You know, why do I have to be the one to leave my country to go to your country and implement and integrate myself to your culture? Oh, because I'm the man, or I'm the one who's like well off, or my country is better, whatever. I don't care. America sucks, but I'm not trying to get out of here. So why do I have to leave my stuff behind and the few achievements that I have because you're trying to promise me that I won't have to like work as hard? What if I told you that I don't mind working hard for the things that I do have and am earning? So you see, that's what I hate about being clumped together as a modern woman with the rest of women, because some guys really do not believe or understand that we are not all interested in being ahead of the game. I'm not afraid of being poor for the rest of my life. I'm not afraid of not having my own house for the rest of my life. I'm not afraid of maybe losing my car and having to rely on public transport at some point in my life. But you're offering me this financial security and stability, which it is important. But if I'm not interested in you from an emotional point of view, we're doomed. And I'm not going to be involved in a relationship just for the material things, or like the comfort that you can provide for me, but I don't like you as a man, as a person. I don't like you. That is horrible. But unfortunately, there are women out there who have done that. They have exchanged their emotional and mental well being and freedom in the name of status. I cannot do that. And you just have to trust me that I know that that is who and what I am. But some of these guys have really tried to go out their way to persuade me. And if there's someone trying to pressure you, this is someone who's trying to be impressionable. Or like, not impressionable, sorry, who's trying to impress me. And I am not an impressionable person. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe at some point this shit worked on another girl, and he may be thinking that it may work on me. And I'm here to burst that bubble and tell you that no. You know, even though I'm not like 100% happy where I am at, I know that I am putting henceforth the effort to get me there. It may take me another 10 or 15 years, and I definitely won't look as great as I look now, but that is the path that I have chosen, and nothing and no one will derail me from it. So stop that shit. And fortunately, I have never heard from this guy since, but that was the most trying, irritating, annoying, and frustrating thing ever. But at the same time, I said to myself, I'm glad that this happened to me because it serves as a test for me to, no matter how depressed and lonely I was at the time, I did not do something regrettable and stupid. Let's see, what else? Right. So with OnlyFans allowing you to put up any kind of content, primarily like pornographical stuff, it's pretty dangerous for your image. And in the event that something happens and you actually have to recur to the more traditional way of making ends meet by like having a more traditional job, if this stuff about you surfaces, game over. So why would you take your chances, especially if you're not someone who's financially independent, quite like a celebrity may be? Like, how many times do we not see a celebrity say, let's take Megyn Kelly? She gets fired from one news network or something, and she gets hired by another network. This is someone who's well established. You, as an average person, someone who depends on, say, other companies to hire you and whatnot, this doesn't sound like a very good idea. It doesn't sound like you should be creating this history about you and leaving it on the internet. And the internet is something that is permanent. Pretty much anything that you say, anything that you post, anything that you ever leave there is pretty much guaranteed to stay there forever. So why would you do that to yourself? And remember that companies, and this is something that bothers me about them, but companies like to maintain an image of respect, professionalism, and prestige, even though the people who run them themselves are not representative of those values at all times. Like, say, once they clock out, they too do their stuff like the average person does, like the trash talking and whatnot. And also the executives that we see getting in trouble over their conduct and stuff. These are human beings still, flawed and whatnot. But at least on your end as an individual, why wouldn't you want to do your very best to ensure that you can protect your image? Your image is something that's important, and I'm not saying the vanity aspect of your image is what you represent. Do you represent integrity, reliability, cleanliness, neatness, stuff like that? That stuff is important. So why would you take your chances with something like this? Sure, you may find financial success, but what it takes to get there, because as most people admit, they go there with the expectation of consuming, what is it? Suggestive, explicit content. Is that really who you want to establish yourself as? Because I find that one of the things that feminism tries to do is like, oh, but we have overcome so much. I have put so much work and my background. I gave myself a better life, this and that. But did you do so in a respectable and full of dignity fashion? No. So do not ask me to worship you if you haven't done it right. You cheated your way in the same manner that all these people who found these successful companies cheated by being given like millions of dollars to start their companies. Don't be that person, because now these people are fucking like sociopaths. They have no idea what it's like for a person on the lower end of society when it comes to like net worth, what their lives are like, and they make decisions, insane decisions, like the people we have running our government. It's like you got rich people arguing about how much money poor people should get and how much money is too much money for people to get, even though it doesn't scratch our own annual income. What? How can you be so detached from reality? So that's what I fear happens when people create an online persona. Because if you were to be seen on the street, you're trying to live a normal life, doing your groceries shopping, you don't think it's bizarre that the person right next to you on the line may be one of your customers and they recognize you and they're like, oh, I totally know what this girl looks like. And they feel like because they pay for the service that you provide, that they feel entitled to like get close to you or something. Uh-uh. No, 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 no. But anyway, I'll get to more of that in a minute. Um, in addition, the bad thing about this type of career, if you can call it a career, is that your customers, your content consumers, can become obsessed with you. And I see this a lot. Do you guys remember Shane Dawson? He had a bunch of fans who were literally obsessed with him. And they were so obsessed with him that they would constantly make videos about him. All the time, any little detail that would show up in his videos, they would make a conspiracy theory out of his own conspiracy theories within his conspiracy theories. And it's nice to see that you're so successful and respected that people are intrigued by who you are as a person. But at some point, that obsession can destroy lives. And again, it's because human beings are not supposed to be worshipped like that. But I may reserve that discussion for another time. But for me, I am scared of people who tend to be obsessed about other people, especially people who you don't even know. And obsessions like that can result in stalkers. And some stalkers are harmless, but there are stalkers who really, 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 really do crazy things. And there are stories about this out there. Why would you put yourself in harm's way? So I think the best way to deal with a disaster, as I have always said, is to prevent it from happening. Unfortunately, you cannot predict how someone is going to view your content, how someone is going to interpret it, digest it, so on and so forth. Why would you engage in an activity that you know can potentially trigger a thought process in a person that may make them commit a stupidity like this? And in addition, it seems like these consumers tend to be people who are lonely, who are rejected by, since earlier I said that there's more female creators and there's more male consumers. Let's just use those pronouns. You are a content creator, and the people who are your paying customers are like I guess the men who get rejected by women in real life, or they don't have very good social skills and whatnot. Do you really want to have a trail of people who are like that, who like, let's put it bluntly, who don't really have their mind in the best place? You want to give these people like all access to you, images of your body. You want to give them a personalized one-to-one experience in private. And is that really the kind of precedent that you want to establish? And this is the part that I've really been burning up to get to. Your future and or current relationships. I was some person's videos comment section, and I am very glad that the comment sections said some of the things that I was thinking. But there was this particular person who said that she was trying to discourage people from creating OnlyFans accounts. And she said that it was really great and nice because she was making much more money than she knew what to do with in a short amount of time. She was making thousands of dollars and whatever. But she said that she really hated how men were sort of looking down on her and not really considering her as worthy relationship material. And I'm thinking, yeah, because relationships are something that should be sacred, and nobody has to feel comfortable dating a damn porn star. You know what I mean? Like, I would hope that your intimacy, let's say me and my boyfriend, for example, I would hope that he values my intimacy in the same manner that I value his intimacy. And I would hope that if he finds out that I have an OnlyFans, that he breaks up with me. Or if he finds out that I'm uploading to like porn websites or something, that he breaks up with me. Because I am literally sharing my body, the image of it, with the rest of the world. I may not be getting laid with the rest of the world, but it really doesn't leave any privacy. It doesn't make me like special, unique, nothing to look forward to. And it's like all of these men who are my customers feel like they have a piece of me. No man deserves to have to share his girl with like the rest of the planet. In the same manner that I don't deserve to have a man who I have to share with the rest of the planet. That's why I say that as long as I'm childless myself, I would never get in a relationship with a man who has kids. I don't have to share my man with another woman for the rest of my life. It's not fucking fair. And I work my ass off to not complicate my life. I don't have any kids. I have been good about being abstinent, but like, because you weren't able to be abstinent, I have to pay the consequences with you? No, fuck you. You may be the best man in the world, you may be great, you may be awesome, but unfortunately, those kids need you, and I don't want for them to be like split between two houses, and I don't want to deal with that. So I look at this as being something no different. If I cannot make up my mind and be like, hey, I'm in a relationship with a man who makes a modest living, but you know what? We have clothes, we have food, we have shelter. What else do we want? What else do we need? That's what I'm saying. How much money do you need to see in your bank account, and how quickly for you to feel happy, satisfied, and fulfilled? This person went as far as to say, as soon as a man tells me that he has a problem with my OnlyFans account, I will break up with him, but I am not going to stop making OnlyFans. That's the way I make my money. Sincerely, I don't see how this is different from being a hoe. Sure, you're not getting laid, like there's no physical contact necessarily, unless you're making a video in which you're getting like explicit with someone. But how is that different from being a legitimate hoe? You know, like to me, intimacy in relationships is something so incredibly sacred to me that I would hope that a man values that about me in the same manner that I would value that about him. But you're trying to convince me that I have to give you your place as a woman in this society and respect you just because you're able to persuade people into subscribing to your profile so that you can make your thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, however it is that you make in a month. And you think that your class and respect is earned by how much money you make in your bank account. To me, it matters how you made that money. It just does. And I would rather continue to struggle being in a relationship with my current boyfriend, but at least he earns his money, he has integrity, he's trustworthy, he has great attendance, he has experience, he is reliable, as opposed to, oh, I pretty much fucked my way to the top. That's all I have to say. If someone were to ask me, oh, so you made all these thousands of dollars, uh, what made you successful? You're going to try to bullshit your way and say, well, I had talent for designing clothes or something, even though your clothing company came after you made your money doing this trash. And would you really feel proud telling people that the way you got your big break was by filming explicit content? Like, what leadership skills did that give you? What interpersonal skill did that earn you? Just, I value more experiences that are actually useful, such as, oh, well, one time I helped an old lady pick a bunch of flowers to put up at someone's wedding, and it made everybody talk and say really nice things. This lady turned out to be some rich person, and she gave me $10,000 for suggesting something to her that really helped brighten the day or something. What does that say? I have the ability to listen to my customer, empathize with my customer, make good suggestions. I assisted this person in having a better day. Anybody could have done it, possibly, but at least I can say I have the experience of making that happen. Because I made it to my shift, I made it on time, I was attentive to my customers' needs. Those are experiences, those are skills, but all you have to say is, I took advantage of the loneliness in our society, men who have too much time on their hands and they have a few dollars in their bank account that they're deciding to just give to me so that I can send them personalized content about like digital access to my body. How do you explain that in your future job interview? Should you need one because, say, your whole act collapses? If that is not something you would be proud to talk about, then you shouldn't do it. And that's why I cannot treat this as a real, respectable, viable career. And what happened to having respect for your partner? Let's say that you've been in a relationship with someone for like 5 years, if relationships even last that long these days. And all of a sudden, you're going to start this stupid profile because we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and you are desperate about not being able to make ends meet. But let me tell you something. If you struggled during the pandemic making ends meet, you were not trying to a certain extent. If there were grocery store jobs in your area, in your city, in your vicinity, and I would hope that there are, because in order for you to write articles and whine and complain on social media about how bad your life is, you had to be eating. But at least where I work at, we needed help. We are still hiring people. And more retail places similar to mine, everywhere, even restaurants I go to, they all say, now hiring, apply online. So if you did not take it upon yourself to fill out a job application, it's because you liked to struggle. And you probably were impressed. Once again, you're an impressionable creature, and you were like, oh wow, I've heard of people who make thousands of dollars online and they never have to worry about having a real job ever in their lives again. Let me do that. And the way to do that is I just gotta be a virtual hoe for however long it needs to be. No, I cannot respect someone like that. And if I ever decided to say such a stupidity and suggest such a stupidity, I would hope that my boyfriend stops me. And I would hope that he also tells me I would not be able to continue this relationship. And I would be like, you know what? You have a right to feel like you have a right to feel that way. I'm glad that you said something. I value this too much. And even if we ended up breaking up 1 year later, 1 month later, whatever, at least this man was the last line of defense I had to protect me from a disaster. But these fucking girls are doing all of this and somehow expecting for you to still admire and respect them. No! Respect is earned, it's not demanded. So if you have to demand that, you're doing something wrong. And I am going to reference a trend on Twitter from back in, I want to say it was like mid to end of January. And it was a article from the New York Times in which what was being discussed was how there's like a crisis amongst women who the pandemic left them jobless, and then they started working on OnlyFans, and all of a sudden the money stopped coming in, and how tragic that was for them. So so here we have the story of one person who stopped working at her job as a medical biller to take care of her two-year old son after his daycare shut down. And then she ended up making, at age 23, she had made $64,000. And not only it took care of her own bills, but helped her family and friends with rent and car payments. I would really hope that my mom gets curious about how the fuck I am bringing home so much money, and that if she finds out that this honorable way that I'm making ends meet, I would really hope that she stops my ass and says, I don't want this money do not offer me this money. This is filthy. Get the fuck out of here. And possibly even tell me I'm not her daughter anymore. But I know better than to do that. But what I'm saying is that no matter how desperate the situation gets, I don't think that me selling my privacy, my intimacy like that, just to rectify a tragedy, a situation, like say this global pandemic that affected everyone's lives, whether for some of us it was negative, for some people it was somewhat positive because some people saw their businesses boom. I would hope that my mom treats me like that because she has her values and I understand why she has them. But anyway, this girl was like, it's more money that I have ever made at any job, and I have more money than I know what to do with. And then someone else started an OnlyFans account hoping for a similar windfall. But this person was a restaurant worker and had been laid off 3 times during the pandemic and was so needy for cash that she had to drop out of dental hygiene school. And after donating plasma and doing all jobs, she still didn't have enough to pay her bills. Yada yada. She turned to OnlyFans and only made a whopping $500, which, if you would have applied for a grocery store or like a retail job, these people have needed help because they've been launching like online ordering programs. You may have made a little more than that, and firmly, steadily, because every 2 weeks, most of these places are offering a competitive pay of like 12 to $15 per hour. You would count on getting at least $600 to $700 every 2 weeks. That should be able to take care of a lot of your financial needs, or at the very least, keep you afloat. Um, but anyway, the problem with sites like this is that popularity. More people sign up, more competition. Competition is fierce. It'll be tougher to get your break. Why have you not figured this out yet? It will work for some people, but it's not realistic for it to work for everybody, especially if you're not grinding at it. Like, you would have to promote the absolute shit out of your page for you to have a chance now to get somewhere. But anyways, they were turning to OnlyFans in an attempt to provide for themselves and their family. And a lot of people are migrating to OnlyFans out of desperation. Is this type of desperation something that you can train for? Or is this a symptom of a bigger problem? Is this letting us know how bad we have it, that we tend to live detached from our families, far away from the support of familiar faces, that we get extremely desperate when life as we know it changes ever so slightly because of something as unpredictable and uncontrollable as a pandemic, you know? Um, but anyway, for every person, like this one girl who was able to use OnlyFans as her primary source of income, there are dozens like the other girl who just don't get to see success in websites like this. And many of the creators have joined the platform out of dire financial need, do not have a large social media followings or anything to drum up consistent business. And then it's a full-time job on top of your full-time job, looking for work, as some people describe it. Fans want to see you posting daily. You're always churning. You're always taking pictures to post. That's kind of what YouTube does to people. Like, if you're not grinding daily, that's it. The algorithm forgets about you, and you can kiss goodbye to the business. So for me personally, because I used to physically handwrite in my journal, this was easy for me to do daily. I stopped writing because writing took up too much of my time, and someone told me, I really think that you really should start filming more as opposed to writing. And since I used to have social skills issues, this person said it is possible that you will meet people who will help you and possibly change your life. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I highly doubt that anybody will see me or find me in this overly saturated platform, but if you say so, and here I am 5 years later, just absolutely grateful that I listened to this person and that I built up the confidence for that because I've never been someone to like cameras. But now it's like, shit, I understand why this is such an important tool. But anyway, some people have only made a whopping $250 on the platform, which, hey, in my 5 years on YouTube, I have only made like $400. So yeah, I have gotten paid like once every year. And I think this is going to be the first year I don't make any money because, I mean, my what is it? What do you call it? My on analytics. It only says that my videos make like 5 cents now. So hey, from nickel to nickel, I will accrue my next $100. So anyway, if you're looking for a 9 to 5, they might not hire you if they find out you have an OnlyFans. You think so? Digital sex work can give the illusion of safety and privacy. Content creators can get paid without having to interact with clients in person, but that doesn't mean there aren't risks. For real. Online sex work is a much more appealing alternative to many people than going on the streets or selling direct sexual services, the very things that you shouldn't do at all, I don't think. And that said, anybody getting into this kind of work needs to be aware that they are dangerous. The sole fact that you have to tell people that such a thing is dangerous, to me, it makes me feel like people don't really understand the human psychology very, very well. And I feel like that should be the responsibility of schools, making you aware of such a thing. We're not all perfect. I cannot say to understand the full extent of human behavior, but put it this way, if you know that sex is something that tempts people, it makes people obsessed, it makes people like people's behavior changes over it. Like, say, if you're a really jealous person and you discover someone, I don't know, fucking cheating on you, how many stories have we not heard of people killing their partners or former partners because they couldn't handle being cheated on? Like, if you don't think the worst that could happen, then you're not being a responsible person. And even if you don't do this line of work, which, as I said earlier, I don't think this is real work, even people who work for the public are in danger because what's to keep some buffoon from seeing me at my job and being like, oh, I think this girl is fine. She rejected me, but I'm gonna wait for her shift to end, watch where she goes, and fucking follow her. You know, it has happened, but at least it is not as likely for that to happen because I did not make any promises to this person about having any kind of intimacy with them. Whereas OnlyFans literally allows for your clients to like directly consult you and request content from you. And if you provide a customer with a personalized experience, more than likely they feel empowered and entitled to influence you. Why would you give away people your fucking power? For money? Really? Like, I understand what it's like to be desperate at some point, because hey, this is coming from a girl who was fucking homeless at some point. But have some faith that shit will just work out. You just need to know your resources and play the game smart. But you want to make bad decisions. The bad shit is going to happen, and you want for people to see you as the victim. The only victim here is yourself. You're a victim of your own self. And I wish that people would like think about this stuff through better. It's possible to think this through better. Anyways, I'm going to take a little break from this stuff and I'm going to catch up with the comments. But one more person was saying that the experiences have been empowering because, say, someone used to make $13 per hour as a paramedic, and is a mom of 3 kids and never thought anyone would pay her to see her naked, and she made a whopping $700 so far. Not enough to change her life, but enough to make the holiday special. Oh my goodness, guys, that's another thing. I was expecting for the holidays this year to be fucking dead. I don't know if it was out of respect for the tragedy at hand or what, but people are like so married to the fucking traditions of Christmas, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving Day. Seriously, y'all don't care that it's a pandemic and you can barely even keep your mind together and you're thinking about traditions? I swear, we have all been brainwashed into thinking and feeling this way. It's crazy to me. Anyway, and let's see, where was I at? Right. To me, the biggest risk associating with having such a thing is the fact that your customers at OnlyFans, they know exactly who you are, what you look like, what you are, yada yada. But do you know who your customers are? Like like I said a moment ago, if you were at the grocery store, the person right next to you could be one of your fucking paying customers and you don't know it. They know you instantly, but you don't know them. That doesn't terrify you? Like that is one of those things that I feel like we have been desensitized to that we shouldn't be desensitized to. But anyway, you look happy, Sam. I try to be. Like I'm definitely much more happy now than I was this time last year because this time last year, holy shit. I mean, I really hope I don't go through that emotional shit I was going through at the time. But yeah, it's been good days so far, except for my health issues that keep coming and going. But for sure, I am way better now. And I'm glad that it shows. Hello, Jimmy. And what you have missed, it's like the first 2 hours of this. How long have I been here? I don't even know. But basically, no, I am not here to announce that I have an OnlyFans. I am literally shaming it. I'm talking about why I disagree with it, what I have learned about it, why I think it's bad, and basically my whole reaction to women suffering from not having a successful career at it from the moment they hit the sign up button. And I am here to explore why and basically just shame them. You know, that's what I do here, trash talk, because I am a misogynist, right? Totally. But yeah, I finally looked into what it was. Fortunately, during my research, I did not stumble upon anything regrettable. But I also watched someone's video about their experience using the site. And basically, she she had like a happiness rush out of how easy it was to make money. But at the same time, she was saying, well, I hate the way that people look at me and treat me now. Basically, she's getting the whole treatment. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what you fucking are. Just because you're not uh, physically getting, pretty much being a prostitute, you're still making money off doing sexual things. So how is that different from being a hoe? Pretty much. And I am talking about how much I hate it and how that makes it even more difficult for women to be taken seriously. And what happened to the old girl power? Girls can do anything. If girls can do anything, why do you have a tough time settling down the traditional way? Like, go get you a little job, work hard, perhaps get an education. And if you're not going to get an education, try starting your own business. And this shit takes time. You have to do a lot of leg work. That's the only reason I stay in shape, right? But, but yeah, basically, um, I have seen OnlyFans trending a few times and I decided to pretty much react to it. So that's pretty much what this is about. But of course, here and there I get a little sidetracked mentioning other things, but I'm coming around full circle. Let's see. I mean, hi, house, everyone. I got to know a particular girl who does OnlyFans and other such sites. She said that one of the reasons she does it is because she wants the attention, is not just for the money. And see, that too. We live in times in which we feel like we need validation from fucking strangers because our self esteem is incredibly low emotionally, physically, mentally. Is it because you don't have a man in real life? Is it because you're older and perhaps you don't get compliments often? Is it because you're fat? Is it because you aren't like talented in like music or art or politically, or you don't know how to dress? What is it that makes you feel low as a female? Like a moment ago being like an hour ago, I was rambling and really ranting and bitching about how often girls are like looking for validation. And sure, if you shower them with gifts, at some point they don't like it because it's not expensive enough. If you're buying them clothes, it's not the color that they like, it's not the perfect size, it's too small, too big, too this, too that. And I'm thinking, is it really hard to be a grateful person? Why do you have to be such an ungrateful, picky bitch? Like, that shit triggers me because I think about how hard it is to earn your money. And say if you're dating a guy and he's doing things for you, the least, very, very, very least you can do is fucking say thank you. And I feel like we take the men in our lives for granted so much that when they get fed up with our bullshit and they decide to move on, we like to paint them like they're the monster in the picture, when really it was our nasty ass attitude that made them pull away. You're not that special. When a guy gets in a relationship with us, besides a potential incubator, what do they actually get from us? The girls who make OnlyFans, for example, let's say that they start making much more money than their boyfriends ever did. I don't know if it's because I'm mega old school, but I value, just like I was saying moments ago, a man who like comes from nothing, but I get to team up with him and perhaps even build up with him, and we make shit work together. To me, that's much more valuable and shit, even more attractive and romantic than, oh, look, I became a hoe online and now I made this easy money very quickly. We can cost and buy anything that we want now. But the only downside is you will probably see that other people are seeing naked pictures of me and commenting about it. And yeah, pretty much the whole planet knows what I look like, so I'm not special to you anymore. Something like that. To me, it is such a fucking attractive and sexy display of masculinity that I see a guy just coming home and like whatever little bit of money he brings home, we make shit work. Rent is paid, we got clothes, we got food, our cars are insured and running and everything. And to me, that is so amazing. And if we have plans to do something and go somewhere, it's like, hey, how about if every paycheck we start setting aside $20 for like 6 months and then we can take a trip to the beach or something? To me, that is much better than, oh, all I have to do is get on my bank account and make it happen. It takes away from the experience of like hard work and sacrifice. I have experienced in recent times situations where I was in dire like need, okay? Like I was like $10 away from my bank account being at zero. But I said, you know what? God will provide. I have never needed anything in my life. I have always been fine. And although I had people there offering me their support and telling me, hey, I'm here for you. If you need something, don't feel like you have to suffer. And I said, I don't feel like I need to ask for your help because I feel like I'm already taken care of. And if I give in to the fear, I don't get to see what it is that I'm capable of. So these people, these online influencers and presences, when they start talking about their mental health, I tend to dismiss that shit because I don't have empathy for people who have actively avoided challenges that would have built their character. So I would rather look at the person who's like poor, but at least this poor person has leadership skills, perseverance, patience, dedication, integrity, reliability. Those things matter. And I don't know about you guys, but you all notice how relationships don't seem to fucking last these days? I think this is partly to blame. We are like a society that wants immediate gratification. And I think that you need to learn to sacrifice yourself a little bit. Like, say, you guys know that my biggest addiction is leggings. There are some leggings that I am like burning to have right now. Does it mean I should buy them? No. Will they probably go out of stock? Yes. Will they disappear forever? Possibly. But I don't care. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to max out my credit card because this is a want that I am burning up for, but I am failing to recognize my other values. And then these people who have money and all this power, because it's so sudden and they obtain it so immaturely, they don't know how to fucking handle it. And that's why I always say if I knew any of these people in person, I would probably not get along with them because we're from like different planets. And I will continue to be old school when it comes to that. I would rather be with a guy who like, wow, you have nothing, but we teamed up and we built our own little castle, as opposed to, don't worry about it, I will hook you up. I'm just not a person who's used to be given shit to. I'm not used to being spoiled. And I guess because I'm not used to be spoiled, to being spoiled, that's why when I see people, especially girls who were raised with fathers, sometimes they trigger me so much because I'm like, you can definitely tell that this person was just spoiled because she has no sense of self reliance. And I look at myself and I'm like, the last time I genuinely asked my mom for help with something was like 7 years ago. And it was because I was getting started on some things. And I'm like, hey, mom, I would like for you to orient me on this thing and that thing. But other than that, she needs my help more than I need her. So clearly, I have grown. But you ever meet people who are like in their 30s and they're still like stuck in their adolescence? That is not who I want to be. And that is not the kind of guy I would want to date. And that's why I think that this type of thing is important. And overall, something like OnlyFans, where it's become so popular because the expectation is to see explicit content, that shit, in my eyes, is immoral, no matter what. So if you make your money, go ahead and make your money and enjoy it quietly, but do not ask me to respect you for it because I cannot. And as I mentioned before, whatever you produce, that is content that's going to be in the internet forever. And God forbid if you need to, like, go back to your beginnings and rely on more traditional ways of finding work. And now your image, your history is ruined forever. And even though big corporations are hypocritical themselves, like, we're acting like what is it? Our CEOs don't, they're salaried, right? But like they don't clock out and go talk trash at some point about the way things are at their offices or something. We all like to pretend that, they're from a different planet, but they're like, when it comes to that, they tend to be pretty average as well. It's the same dynamic, just a different clown, a different buffoon. As I said earlier on the stream, it's just different characters. And for me personally, I wouldn't want to be mentally, emotionally, and even sort of physically be abusing myself. Because let's say that you start your OnlyFans account and the way that you look now is what's making you profitable. Let's say that you don't meet the expectations of your clients anymore because, I don't know, you got pregnant, you got fat, you got sick, you got cancer and did chemo and your hair fell out, eyebrows fell out, whatever, something extreme, something crazy like that. Are you making plans for that? That could happen. Or you get in an accident and you have a deformity. Seriously, this looks like something that's really fragile, even though those are extreme examples, but it's not impossible for it to happen. And I really think, in conclusion, I really think that women should try to be successful in more, what is it, talented and useful ways, as opposed to, oh, just because of my God given attribute of being female, I know that my body is my source of income. I can turn it into a business. It's easy money without skill. If that doesn't describe privilege, I don't know what does. We like to like listen to this wave of feminism, like we're so oppressed and whatnot. And I'm like, no, the American woman is one of the most spoiled beings ever. And you have to acknowledge it. That's just the truth. And when I see things like this, I'm just horrified that we're not really progressing. And I see people like on this girl's comment section going like, oh, who doesn't like to make easy money? I honestly don't like to make easy money. I like to earn my money. And sure, if you want to make money on OnlyFans, you have to produce the content. So you're putting in some work to earn your money, whatever. But what I'm saying is you're not contributing anything worthwhile. At least I get to say I have a job in retail, and some of my skills are unique to me in that only I have training for some things that other people in my department don't, or they're not specialized. At least I get to show up and I know that I can possibly help an old lady out to her car or something. That's pretty useful as opposed to potentially getting you as my customer if you decide to not do online service and you're going to be that entitled fucking bitch expecting to be treated special because do you know who I am? And I'm like, yeah, you're the one who only the people at your house know who you are. So I'm not trying to say that I'm better than you, but what I'm trying to say is don't try to force me to respect you and value your contribution when it's something that I'm not even a guy and I'm not a lesbian, so it's not like I would be able to enjoy what it is that you have to offer through your OnlyFans service. And even though I'm straight, I don't look for content like that. It's not like I'm looking to subscribe to like a male content creator and be looking for his stuff. No, I have my own guy already. Thank you. But this is what I hate. It's gotten so bad that these girls are saying, I would rather break up with the man I am with if he gets upset that I have an OnlyFans over me leaving my OnlyFans. Because this has become your fucking life. This is all that you have. If you lose this, that is the end of you. You have no other way to make money. You have shut your doors to be hired by, say, other places, other companies, other jobs. So this is it for you. And if you decide that you no longer want to do this because you're mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever the fuck, exploited, or you want to finally settle down in a relationship, but no guy is comfortable settling down with you unless it's one of those guys who's like, I don't know, a guy with little self respect, then no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear what you have to say, and I will not respect you. The end. So, yeah, you guys, that's pretty much it for me when it comes to this matter. I will catch up with the comments now. No, I didn't meet her on OnlyFans. I don't go to OnlyFans. Sex is dangerous and blessing at the same time. You said buffoon. That's one of my favorite words to describe you crazy humans. Insane buffoons. Yeah, lots of buffoonery going around. I love your room. Thanks, but no thanks. This is actually not my room. This is my brother's room. And that's why he has all the crazy flags of some of the places he has visited. He's been to Japan, and I'm not sure he was actually at South Korea, but he does have a South Korea flag. But it wouldn't surprise me if he just visited like a touch and go or something. And he has also gone to I think he's been to like Saint Croix or something, or Saint Lucia, one of those places in the Caribbean or something. And he was supposed to have gone to Italy about 2 years ago, but that didn't happen. So that's why the Italian flag is nowhere around. And of course, we were born in the United States, so it's natural for him to have the patriotic flag. But yeah, I think he was in Osaka, Japan, something like that. But thanks for complimenting my brother's room. I have sort of claimed it now because it's a little more spacious than mine. I figured you were going to trash OnlyFans. Of course, I'm very easy to predict because at this point, when it comes to matters like that, I don't think that I have left any stone unturned on my channel so far. um, let's see. I came here for OnlyFans trashing and stayed for the side trails. The entitled ingratitude triggers me too. Not long ago, I got really irritated with a particular woman I know who was always asking me for money but won't do anything when I ask, Jimmy, give me some money! And in return, I will not do anything for you. No, seriously. See, and I fucking hate that I have memories of this. But on two occasions, and probably more that I have forgotten about, like, I don't like to count my school experiences because we were just kids. But as an adult, I will never forget one of my colleagues who has a boyfriend who also happened to work with us. And she would be incredibly demanding of him. Like, hey, I just placed an order for Walmart pickup. Make sure you get this, make sure you get that. I forgot to put this on the order. So you're gonna have to step out and go to the store and pick this up and this and that and that and this. And if he doesn't fulfill what she says accurately, it's like the end of the world is coming for him, right? But then one time, this guy needed something from her because they lived together. I think he either forgot his lunchbox or he needed some kind of medicine. It was one of those things. Well, this woman, which I must say is one of the few females in this world I'm actually friends with, this woman showed up without his stuff. He understandably got angry. And then she was like neutral about it because she knew she fucked up. But I'm like, how do you feel like you have a right to get mad at him? He gives you so much, he does so much for you, he clearly loves you. To be able to stand the fact that all these years that you guys have been together, you're only half-assing your way for him. And then the one time that he needs just a little thing from you that requires minimal effort, matter of factly, it requires no fucking effort. You're not there for him. Why? Like, if I did that, if it were me and I accidentally do that to my boyfriend, if he needed lunch and I fucking forgot, I'm like, honey, I am so sorry. I was tardy. It just slipped in my mind. It's not something part of my routine. Here you go, $20. I'll buy you lunch because I totally fucked up. Or say, if it was your medicine, oh my goodness, hey, is there something in the pharmacy department that I can get you to like remedy you until you get home to get to your real medicine? Anything. Be there for your fucking man. But no, she did nothing. Like, this guy got upset, and I'm pretty sure they didn't talk for like the rest of the day. I just remember his reaction. He was like, wow, fucking wow, really? And I said, I'm surprised that he did not get angrier. He probably did it to not like cause a scene on the sales floor. But I said, how can you not be there for your man? Like, I always hear you on the phone with him being so fucking demanding, so fucking bitchy. And sometimes you don't even say hello to him. You just go like, hey, don't forget to da 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 da. You don't even ask him, hey, how are you doing? Nothing. You're just spitting orders to your minion. And then the one time that he asks for a little something, you fucking fail him. That makes me so angry. And I'm not even this guy's girlfriend. Like, it doesn't affect me at all, but it just it makes me feel some type of way because this is the same fucking bitch who's going to talk to me behind the scenes and be like, oh, so and so, this fucker didn't do this and that. And I'm like, when was the last time you dignified yourself to do something noteworthy, remarkable, significant for your fucking man? Like, for real, I think I am an alien woman. I don't belong here because I'm the only one who, like, looks at shit this way. And when I tell these girls, when was the last time you did something nice for him? He's like, why do I have to buy him shit? He's the one who has to buy me things, has to. And I'm like, fuck you. But at the same time, I get mad at the guys for tolerating that shit. You guys have this giving, spoiling nature that I love that about you guys, but at the same time, when you're taken advantage of, you will either explode to the extreme or fucking tolerate the pain because you don't want to be like, oh, you're gonna let this little girl like what is it, conquer you or something. So like that's something about guys that I admire, but at the same time, like, fuck, I feel so bad for all of you because you all deserve so much better. But I guess society has raised you to feel like you're lesser than the girl. Fuck the girl. Not literally, but like, you know what I mean. Oh my god. You're exactly right. That does describe privilege. Yes, it is privilege. As a female, I realized how fucking privileged I am the moment I got my job. And I will give the most basic example that I can. Whenever I happen to have the shift in which I'm in charge of going outside to get carts and bring them back into the building, most people tend to bring the cart back to the building, to the very front at the very least. I barely ever have to go to the corral. The only time I go out to the corral to get them is if it's raining or something extreme like it may be icy. And I don't get that shift very often, but when I do, I notice that my male friends are usually having to go way out there. But most customers, they also happen to know me since this is customer service and I spend there a lot of time. They happen to know me, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. They will bring that shit back. And there have been times in which I'm sort of passively supervising whoever's doing that just in case it's like a busy weekend, in case I need to intervene and give support. And my male colleague very, 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 very rarely gets as much support from the customers themselves as I do. And yeah, like a part of me is grateful because that realistically would be a heavy job for me to do. Like, sure, I have the stamina for it because I'm in shape and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I would be like mad dead. And if I were full time doing that job 5 days a week, I know I would not be functional. But that among many other little things just helped me realize how fucking good I have it as a female in this country. And anyone who tries to convince me otherwise, I'm sorry, but they're full of shit. Absolutely full of shit. And because I know I have that privilege, I try to be careful about it. Just because I have it doesn't mean that I feel like I have to take advantage of it. It's like unless something absolutely extreme, like wow, I may die from this, I do not intend to bother anybody asking them for support. It's awesome. You're welcome. He sounds like a beta male simp. Exactly. A fucking beta male simp. Possibly. And from what I understand, this guy, he shouldn't even be struggling in the finding females department because he's what we consider traditionally and what do you call it? Conventionally attractive. But from what I understand, this girl is his first girlfriend. And this would be this girl's probably like third or fourth boyfriend. So it's not like you're giving him fresh value. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. Like these females sometimes have incredibly high standards. And I'm like, girl, you are recycled. So it's not like you even have that to offer. Okay? So like, ugh. Anyway, I don't want to like turn this into a, what is it? An absolute like female degradation topic more than it is, but for real, it's just that I have to say these things because if you guys ever wonder what made me say like 4 years ago in that one video that I don't have female friends, this is why. This is how I am. I say things how it is. I'm like, I see you verbally abusing your man in public, and when he needs you to do the bare minimum, you ain't there for him. And somehow you have a right to get mad at him for bullshit, but when he gets mad at you, he's the dickhead. No, it doesn't work like that. This is something you have to cultivate. And even if this guy is cool and tolerates this shit, at some point he may reach a limit. Maybe he doesn't even know himself that he's a ticking time bomb. But if he does and you get dumped dramatically, I am going to absolutely laugh at you. Just know it. I'm going to laugh at you, and I am going to be his cheerleader because bitch, you deserve it. You deserved it. And I remember the times when I was like that too. With my first two boyfriends, I felt like I was the last Coca-Cola in the desert and you had to drink me up. And I'm like, there is no way that I'm going to have a successful marriage or let alone long lasting quality relationships if I don't do something about my nasty ass entitled female attitude. So all I want for a guy is to feel happy and proud to have me and be in my presence. If I get that perception, I'm pretty sure that I'm doing something right. Because at the end of the day, I have to recognize that my guy will be far more capable than me at how we make it in life, especially when it comes to the socio-economic aspect. Because let me tell you, the older I get, the lesser my input is. And I know it only gets worse from here. So I'm not going to try to antagonize my man to make him less likely to feel proud about investing in me, you know? And all I tell him is, hey, if I ever have an emergency, I will try to not bother you, but if I needed your help, I would hope that you don't have to hesitate about it, you know? So, anyways, you guys, that's pretty much it for me. I really have nothing else to say, and I'm really hoping that I don't have to visit this type of topic because it is trash and it's just the state of society really, really, really saddens me. And I'm not going to say I've lost all hope, but this is like a generational thing. And I find that the current generation really doesn't have a previous generation to look up to. And the previous generation is like struggling to find their place in the present day, like our parents, uh, especially with the evolution of technology being so quick, they're kind of falling behind. Because, like, my dad, when I talked to him recently, I'm like, holy shit, you talk like someone from like the 60s whose education was from like the 40s or the 50s. You know, like information from the 40s and 50s is what this man was getting. You know, and I'm like, there's some stuff that it's good for you to hold on to, but there's some stuff that, like, in order for you to try to bond with me, yeah, you need to let go of some shit and become more contemporary. And then my mom is also kind of falling behind on some things, and I understand that these people are like tired and you know they should definitely be retired by now, but like, damn, if this is them, what'll be left for me? I'm supposed to be getting advice and coaching from them, but they need my help, and I'm not even capable of helping myself. So, you know, that sometimes it worries me, but I just tell myself mind over matter. Mind over matter. Mind over matter. Let's see. Any man should be happy and proud to have you as a girlfriend slash wife. Truly an ideal woman. And I hope so because I feel like when you meet someone who you're not really like invested in their personal life, like say it's not like we're colleagues, we know each other, or like we're neighbors or we know each other, I feel like it's easy to present the best version of yourself, and that's what people can see and admire and focus on. And then probably if you met me in person, you would be like, damn, Zam, like how are you so bad at this, how are you so bad at that? So that's why I try to call myself out on it. But anyway, do you really ever truly meet someone fully? Like, there's some stuff about my mom that I had no idea about, and I've been with this lady every single day of my life. So, yeah, it's definitely life is an adventure, but be careful and don't allow yourself to be deceived. But when I get on the channel, I really try to, the same way that I would journal, which is like factual accounts about my life. That's how I like to treat the channel, you know? So, so anyway, I would really think that I'm not too different from how I present myself here. I think the only difference would be that I like to be a little more active when I'm streaming. I don't want to be walking around, moving around, because I know that the microphone picks up all kinds of noises. But if it were up to me, I would be streaming and cooking and washing the dishes and multitasking. That's usually how I go about it with mom, my brother, my dad, my boyfriend. So I'm a more hyper person. But anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you soon.